Hi, I'm Ellen Gormley, and welcome to part 2 of the free Valentine shawl pattern. So check out part 1 if you haven't already. Part 1 teaches you how to make the first motif. So imagine for a moment that I only had one motif, and I'm ready to join the second motif to the first. So this is a join as you go pattern. I'm using Vintage DK by Barocco. So thank you, Barocco, for partnering with me on this pattern. Vintage DK yarn. I have an H hook. So I showed you how to make the first motif in part 1. There's also a right-handed and left-handed version of each of these videos. So if you're not watching the one you need, go look for it. Also, the pattern is available for free download, and it is in the link is in the description box below. So let's get started. So I already did round 1, and that is in the part 1 video. I'm going to double check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 treble crochets that are separated by chain 1s. And the end of round 1, you slip stitch to finish, just like you do in part 1 for the very first motif. But the second and subsequent motifs are joined to ones that are previously made. So your second motif will look exactly like this. Say, for instance, you put down motif number 1 that you just made, set it in front of you, and identify the points where you're going to join. The corner, the side, and the corner are where these squares will join with each other. Okay, round 2, when you're joining, chain 1, and I'm going to move this so you have a better view perhaps. Single crochet in the same space where you slip stitched to finish the round. Chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not joining this first side. I like to get started before I join. Then also, in case you didn't notice in the previous video, I actually do work over my tails. So I'm going to take the tail and kind of hold it flush with the top edge, and I'm going to work over it. 1, 2, 3, 4 begins the corner, and we're going to treble crochet 5 together using the spaces and the stitches, just like part 1, the part 1 video. So go back and look at that if you need to, but we're just treble crocheting until the last yarn over, and not doing the last yarn over, but instead leaving it halfway finished. And then when I have 5 of these, I will bind them, decrease them all together with a yarn over pull through all the loops on the hook. So here we go. So here's my beginning chain 4 with my thumb here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Decrease them by yarning over and pulling through all the loops on the hook. Now this is where we're going to start joining. So I will pull chain 1, 2, and instead of chaining 5 like on the first motif, after chaining 2, I'm going to slip stitch in the adjacent corner. So adjacent meaning the one that is going to pair up or match up with it. So I do it this way. It really doesn't matter whether you enter the other loop from behind or above. I usually do it above, meaning I take my hook and I stab it from the front to the back, pull up a loop, and pull through the loop on the hook. You're making a slip stitch there. And then we'll chain 2. So when you chain 2, slip stitch, chain 2, that's equal to a chain 5, which is what you did on the first motif. Then single crochet in this little strand that pulled that decrease together. And chain 1, 2, 3, 4. Single crochet back on the current working motif in the next available stitch. Okay, and now I'm setting up to join along the side. So instead of joining or chaining 5 like I would on the first motif, chain 2, and you can again either stab from the front to the back to grab that loop, or you can go underneath it, pull up a loop through the loop and through the stitch on the hook, and then chain 2 to make 5. Remember, because when you're not joining, it's just a chain 5. single crochet in the same spot where you had single crocheted previously. Keep checking your work to make sure that you're lining up your corners and your sides. Chain 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's the next item to do on the current motif, the working motif. And now it's time for a 5 treble decrease. So using the space and stitches, over the next 5 of them, we will place a treble crochet, but don't complete it, leaving the last loop on the hook. Excuse me for my cold, it just is a winter thing, so hopefully you can hear me okay. So there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. So there's the chain 4 to begin the corner, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over and pull through all the loops on the hook. Chain 1, 2. Slip stitch in the last corner where we're joining. Chain 1, 2. And then continue the round as if you weren't joining anymore. You don't have to join anymore because we're just joining one motif to one previous. So I single crocheted in that strand, chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll finish the round without joining anything else because this is just joining motif number 2 to motif number 1. Got it? Please ask questions in the comment section below if you have any. Let's go ahead and finish out the round. And then we will just continue working the rest of the sides of this motif without joining because this is just a one side join, joining motif number 2 to motif number 1. What else did I need to tell you about this pattern? It's a free pattern. It's my Valentine's Day gift to you. Thank you so much, viewers, for being part of my life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you to Barocco for being my partner on this project. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check out their website. The link is in the description below. You can go to barocco.com for all the different colors in this yarn. And then you can see a tab or blue box that says find this yarn. And that will help you match up with a hopefully local yarn shop where you can go and buy the yarn. Also, they do sell yarn online, and some retailers have online, but if you can patronize your local yarn shop, that would be great. Shout out to my favorite local spot, Silk Road Textiles. I'm going to be heading there as soon as the weather breaks and stock up on some goodies. Okay, and one more. So again, like I said in part 1, make sure before you cut the yarn, 2, 3, 4, 5, that you did everything you need to do, because it's easy on this pattern to forget to do like a side loop or something. And then we'll slip stitch in the first single crochet that finished the round. And before I cut the yarn, I'm going to lay it down, excuse me, and make sure that I joined everything I needed to join. Which I did, the corner, the side, the corner, and then these sides didn't need to be joined yet. And so I will go ahead and cut the yarn. And pull the cut end through where the hook was on that last loop. And then we have motif number 2 attached to motif number 1. Now this one could be added too with just one side. And so in the next video, I'm going to teach you how to do this motif here, where you're making round 1 with nothing different. And then on round 2, we will start with the corner or the side, just like we did on this one. Join here, join there, join here, join there, and then this side doesn't need to join because there's nothing there yet. Do you see what I'm saying? Also, when you're joining to a corner where more than two come together, really it really doesn't matter where you go. So you can kind of see how this one has attached to this one, and this one has also attached. So you can just add that fourth square in that spot, or you can attach it to another motif slip stitch. So just get it in there. It really isn't critical where you put it, but I'll make that video next. So stay tuned for part 3 of the Valentine's Day Simple Shawl. I'm Ellen Gormley. Thanks so much for joining me.